So today we are going to look at the Coriolis Force effect. So first of all, what is Coriolis Force? Coriolis Force says that a freely moving body deflects towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere due to a force generated as a result of Earth's rotation. So Coriolis force says that a freely moving body, we can take the freely moving body as wind. In this case, we can take the freely moving body as wind. A wind will deflect towards the right in the northern hemisphere. We know that if we are considering the equator, the earth is divided into two hemispheres known as the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So here this is northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere. If a wind is blowing in this direction in the northern hemisphere, it will deflect towards the right. If this is blowing in the right direction, the wind will suddenly changes direction or deflects in the right direction. So if you have any doubt, consider yourselves as a Superman. The Superman is directed in that way. He is supposed to fly in that way, but due to Coriolis force in the northern hemisphere, his direction will change towards the right. That means consider his right hand, which is his right hand, he will deflect towards the right direction. If he is flowing in this direction, which is his right hand, this, so he will deflect towards the right direction. If he is blowing in the downward direction, which is his right hand, this one, so he will deflect towards the right direction. So likewise, the wind is supposed to blow in this direction, but due to Coriolis force, it changes its direction to the right side. If the wind is blowing in this direction also, in the northern hemisphere, it will deflect towards the right. In this case also, it will deflect towards the right. So the wind is supposed to go that way, but it will deflect towards the right direction. Likewise, in the case of southern hemisphere, if the wind is supposed to go in this direction, consider the case of Superman. If he is flying in this direction, due to Coriolis force in the southern hemisphere, if he is flying in the southern hemisphere, he will deflect towards which is his left hand, this one. So he will deflect towards the left side. Okay, so likewise, if the wind is blowing in this direction, the wind is supposed to go in that way, but it will deflect towards the left direction. The wind will deflect towards the left in the southern hemisphere. Likewise also, it will deflect towards, if it's going in this direction also, the wind will deflect towards the left side. This side also, the wind will deflect towards the left side. In this case also, if the wind is blowing in this direction, the wind will deflect towards the left side. So likewise, the wind is supposed to go in that way, but due to Coriolis force, the wind will deflect towards the right side. Okay. Left side. Okay. This Coriolis force was discovered by a scientist named Admiral Ferrel. So this Coriolis force effect or Coriolis force is also known as Ferrel's law. As this law, Coriolis force, was discovered by Admiral Ferrel. So this Coriolis force is also known as Ferrel's law. Okay. So this Coriolis force acts in southwest monsoon season, in northeast monsoon season, and through variable winds and all. So if we are considering the southwest monsoon, we know that if we are considering the southern part of India, I'm just drawing the southern part of India. Okay, so we know that there will be equator in this side. We know that the India is in the northern hemisphere. India lies in the northern hemisphere. So this is the southern part of India. Okay, when during the period of April, March, April, May, there will be an intense heat experienced in India during the time of April, May. So we know that India will be experiencing, the landmass of India will be experiencing low pressure. So there will be a low pressure. So compared to why this low pressure and high pressure occurs, we know that if this is a sun, we will get the heat through the sun as insolation. So when there is continuous flow of heat, the air here will expand. Expanded air does not have any weight, so this air will rises up. Expanded air does not have any weight, so this air will, if there is continuous heat, the air here will expand, and the expanded air does not have any weight, and the air will rises up. So this occurs, and if we check this side, there will be low air, means the weight of the air is very low. So we can say that here it will be low pressure. So the rule is that the wind always blow from high pressure to low pressure. The wind always blow from high pressure to low pressure. So if here is low pressure, then the wind will blow somewhere from the high pressure region to low pressure region. Likewise, if we are considering this the southern part of India during the month of April, May, it will be having, we are having the summer season. So here the continuous heat is experienced here. So we will be having low pressure, and the sea will have high pressure. Here the Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, these all will be experiencing high pressure over the oceans and low pressure over the India. So the wind always blow from high pressure to low pressure. It's because the ocean is experiencing high pressure, because the land heats and cools quickly. While we are considering the ocean or the water or sea, the sea will heat and cools slowly. So they will be having high pressure over this region. So the wind always blow from high pressure to low pressure. High pressure to low pressure. But we can see that the wind have entered the northern hemisphere. So if the wind is entering the northern hemisphere, India is in the northern hemisphere, we know that the Coriolis force will act. According to Coriolis force, the wind will deflect towards the right in the northern hemisphere. So this wind is supposed to go in that direction, but due to Coriolis force, the wind will blow towards the right, and these winds, which are adapting moisture from the Arabian Sea, will come to India, southern part of India, and this wind gives us the rainfall during the month of June, July, August, September. So this rainy season is called as the southwest monsoon season. It will start from here to there and will go towards here and all. So this is the southwest monsoon season. Likewise also it will happen in the northeast monsoon season. Otherwise it's also called the retreating monsoon season. Likewise here it will be the high pressure over the Indian subcontinent during the winter season, and low pressure over the oceans. So the wind will blow towards this side. Due to Coriolis force, it will change this direction to the right side. Okay, that's called the northeast monsoon season. And also, the Coriolis force will act in the case of variable winds such as the cyclones and anticyclones. So I will explain about the cyclone here. Cyclone in the northern hemisphere and also in the southern hemisphere. Okay, I'm only explaining about the cyclones here. So in the northern hemisphere, there will be low pressure at the center of the sea, low pressure at the center, and high pressure experienced around it. High pressure will be experienced in all sides and low pressure at the middle. So we know that the wind always blow from high pressure region to low pressure region. So the wind will start to blow from high pressure to low pressure. But we know that in the northern hemisphere, it will deflect towards the right. Here also the wind is coming and it will deflect towards the right. Here also the wind is coming, deflect towards the right. It also deflect towards the right. So after a few minutes we can say that in the northern hemisphere the cyclones are occurring in the anti-clockwise direction. So considering the case of the southern hemisphere, here we will be having high pressure over around this region and low pressure at the middle. So the wind always blow from high pressure to low pressure. But in the southern hemisphere, we studied that it will deflect towards the left. So considering this, it will deflect towards the left side. Here also it's coming, it will deflect towards the left side. Here also it's coming, it will deflect towards the left side. Here also it will deflect towards the left side. So we can see that in the southern hemisphere, the cyclones are occurring in the clockwise direction. So after all this, it's also happening opposite in the anticyclones also. It will be high pressure over the middle center region and low pressure around the center around the high pressure region, and the wind always blow from high pressure region to low pressure region. So it's in the like cyclones, it is happening as opposite in the anticyclones. So we know that the Coriolis force are acting in the case of a southwest monsoon season, northeast monsoon season, and variable winds and odds. So we can say that the Coriolis force have a significant role in our climate, our season and all. So this is Coriolis force.